So Brad, last segment we spoke about our overall process for collaboration.
Right.
Specifically on this one, I want to talk about pre-sales. I want to talk about the sales rep's responsibility, what happens when they send it into this single point of entry, how that empowers us to have a manager approve the deal. I mean, make certain that this is a deal that, one, we want to go after, and two, more important, that we are capable of delivering with excellence and serving.
Yeah.
The documentation, maybe speak a little bit about the form that we created with the required info, and then talk about maybe the ECAB meeting and how that's established and where that starts.
Sure. So really when you talk about the first step, right, it always ends up going back to two human beings sitting down and having a conversation, right? And so when one of our sales reps speaks to a customer, they uncover a need, or they discuss, hey, I'm trying to achieve this kind of thing, or here's what I'm trying to do, can you help me? And so really what we try to empower these guys to do is ask really relevant questions. And they seem very redundant, but at the same time, we've talked before about how doing the routine things routinely, that's really what sets somebody apart. And so, we request that they ask some very structured, but then again, some very fluid questions. That really uncovers really the nuts and bolts of what the customer's trying to do. Hey, why are you trying to change? What are you doing today? What is the pain? What is the money associated with that pain, if you know? And other things like, hey, do you have a budget? When do you want to do this? All these kinds of things. And so those are kind of very focused on the business, of course. But then, obviously the technical questions are relevant as well. And if they can uncover that stuff up front, then great. If not, fine. Really, so after that, really the first interaction with us back here at corporate, so to speak, would be them submitting that form, right? Yeah. Sending an email, whatever method that people choose is up to them. We selected an email, right? And so it comes back and works through some workflows and things like that. But really what that does is it opens up a case. And so now we know, hey, we have this opportunity. It needs to be basically approved or disapproved, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. And really the mechanics of that is relatively simple. It's let's look at the form. Let's look at what they're trying to achieve, and do we have enough information right now to basically move forward to the next step and engage technical people, engage logistics, perhaps engage purchase, anybody like that? Do we have enough information right now, yes or no, to proceed? And if the answer to that is yes, then basically we move on to the next phase.
The next segment.
If we do not, or there's some concerns about budgetary, if there's concerns about anything that was discussed, then we basically just pause. We don't just disapprove it. We basically just pause and perhaps go back to the rep and ask additional questions. So really, when you talk about again the nuts and bolts of that process or that step, that's really it. Is do we have enough information to proceed right here, right now, yes or no? And so if the answer is yes, we basically move on to that second step, and that will basically be the first, what we call ECAB meeting. We'll talk about that next segment.
Perfect. Thank you.